So let's look at some of the weights of my machines. I spent quite a bit of time weighing my machines with different coils and different shafts. And I'm going to show you a difference between these machines. It's a pretty big difference, right? The Equinox, the Anfibio, the Simplex, and the Deus 2. I don't really have a lot of information on the Deus 2 yet, but I will here very shortly. So the Equinox has the detecting innovation shaft. I didn't weigh the Equinox with the stock shaft on it because I've never used an Equinox with the stock shaft on it because they still have those cam locks on them, right? I will not swing a machine around that has cam locks on them, right? That is a thing of the past, right? With these newer machines, you gotta have lever locks on machines. It should be standard on all machines, right? The Nox with the 11-inch coil and the detecting innovation shaft weighs 1,263 grams. The Nox 6-inch with the detecting innovation shaft weighs 1,051 grams. The 9-inch coil on the Deus with the light shaft on it weighs 788 grams without the remote on the detector. And the 9-inch stock shaft with the 9-inch coil on the stock shaft weighs 861 grams, right? The Deus weighs several hundred grams less with the stock shaft 9-inch coil on it than the 6-inch coil, right? Smaller coil, bigger machine, weighs a lot more than the stock shaft with the 9-inch coil, right? The 5x9 light shaft on the Deus, 5x9 coil on the light shaft, it weighs 752 grams because I have the light shaft and I also have the stock shaft on the Deus. The 5x9 stock shaft, the 5x9 with the stock shaft weighs 825 grams. So the 9-inch X35 coil, which is a little bit heavier than the HF coil on the light shaft, weighs 768 grams. The 9-inch X35 on the stock coil weighs 842 grams. So it's much lighter machine than the Deus or than the Equinox with the 6-inch coil, which is a smaller coil than these coils, right? Than the Deus coils. So I'll go down here to the Simplex. The Simplex stock shaft with the carbon fiber shaft on it weighs 1,414 grams, right? You're getting up there in weight, but it's a very well balanced machine, right? With all these machines, the Anfibio, the Simplex, the Deus, the Equinox, they're fairly unbalanced machines. I would say that the Deus and the Equinox are more unbalanced than the Simplex and the Anfibio with the 11-inch stock coils on them, right? The Anfibio and the Simplex are quite a bit heavier machines, so that heavier coil on the end there will balance that machine out a lot more. So I dig every day, all day, right? And I want a machine that's going to feel really good in my hand. The Anfibio and the Simplex feel very comfortable in your hand, and actually the cruiser coil, the multi-cruiser, feels a little bit heavier once you get that bigger coil on there than the Equinox, than the Anfibio, because the Anfibio is a lot heavier on near the armrest, right? And the cruiser still has those cam locks on them, right? So that's why I don't really swing the cruiser, because it still has those damn cam locks on them, right? I want a machine that's going to be lightweight. It's going to be balanced in my hand, like the Impact. The Impact is a heavy, heavy machine. But once you start swinging that machine, it feels like you don't have anything in your hand because it's balanced so good, right? And so the Simplex stock shaft weighs 1,444 grams. The SP24 stock shaft on the Simplex weighs 1,403 grams. The SP24 with the carbon fiber shaft on it weighs 1,372 grams. So I really highly suggest getting a carbon fiber shaft for the Simplex because it makes the machine so much more sturdier. You know, I haven't really broken the Simplex, but my stock shafts on the Simplex are really wobbly. It's like a noodle because I have so many hours and I've swung it so fast. Those stock shafts that I have on the Simplex are just completely wore out. You know, I have 2,500 hours on the Simplex, so you know I really put a lot of hard hours on those. So the Anfibio with a 7-inch coil on it weighs 1,743 grams, right? Almost double what the Deus weighs, right? And like I said, I want a machine that's going to be very well balanced and lightweight, so I can get gold rings, so I can get jewelry faster, so I can swing it faster and have my arm not ache so far in the hunt, right? With the Deus, I can swing that thing around all day long just like a madman, just spanking targets out like a madman as fast as I want. I can actually even go faster than my camera can pick up, right? You know, during my videos, you know, when I'm creating my videos, I really have to slow down a lot because the camera will be all shaky, or it can't see the coil, or if I get down on the ground too fast, I really have to be aware that, you know, I'm filming, you know, I'm actually recording, and I have to slow down a little bit. The Anfibio, the Anfibio 7-inch coil is 385 grams alone. With the shaft on the 7-inch coil, it weighs 584 grams. So just the 7-inch concentric coil, this coil right here, just as it sits, is just a little bit lighter than my whole Deus setup, right? And that's not the Anfibio with that coil, right? That's just the coil and the shaft itself. So this lower end shaft really helps it balance the Anfibio out, right? If it had a smaller shaft on this this detector here, it would be really top heavy. And with the Anfibio, it really balanced with pretty much most of the coils. It really balanced. It's a very well balanced machine, right? With the Equinox, that's probably one. With the Equinox, with that detecting invasions shaft and that 6-inch coil, it just feels perfect in your hand, even though it's a smaller coil, and it's a smaller coil and it has a carbon fiber shaft. It just feels so good in the hand, right? But once you get that 11-inch coil on that Equinox, there's not enough weight on the back end of that shaft to really balance it out very good. That's why they have these aftermarket weights that you can put on the end of your shaft here, you know, in that spot right there. But this is just a little bit of information on the metal detectors that I use, and the reasons why I use the detectors in certain spots is because of the weight. Really, it's about the weight. You know, you don't see me in the rivers with the Equinox because it's such a light machine. It wants to float away. You don't see me in really super tall grass with the Deus because it's such a light machine. It just wants to lift up on me, right? The Simplex can do a lot of places, right? Except when you get around a lot of EMI or really hot soil or some really harsh iron, you know, it struggles in those situations, but it still can get through it, right? The Simplex and the Anfibio are really super durable machines, and I hope that the newer machine that's coming out, the Nocta SMF machine, that multi-frequency machine, is going to really rock the world with this new machine that they're coming out with. You know, hopefully they don't have a lot of options that are not going to be usable on the Simplex or on the Nocta SMF. But that's just a little bit of information about the weights on my machines. I don't know if you guys really wanted to see all that information, but there you go. Thank you for watching. please subscribe.